Tag Show. Tag Show. That's gonna leave a mark, Taylor.
That's undisputed because I'm undisputed.
What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of the Mixed Tag Show with.
I thought I was gonna start.
Oh, go ahead.
Jenna, and no, it's fine. Whatever, you already did it, man. Jenna
No, go
and
ahead.
no, it's fine. You already did it. We're already like 14 seconds, 15, 16, 17 seconds in. Jenna
and Blue. What's going on, everybody? Oh, that's not my background.
don't move. Don't move. We got someone here.
Right.
Someone here moved into a fancy schmancy spot.
Right? Yeah, like what you place? It's
Yeah.
nice, right?
Suddenly, you know how to play the piano. Where do you find this? Okay. Where do you find
know
this?
about me? Like, I play like 5 instruments. I told you this.
Okay. No, that's fine. Where do you find a place like this?
Oh, this nice place right here.
Yeah.
And the StreamYard background shop.
Oh, okay. Not in Jersey.
No. I'm pretty sure you can find this in Jersey for $1.5 million.
Sure. That's one day. One day you can say that. Hey, Jenna, come over. Come over to my 1.5.
I did.
Dad.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I did move, as I said, on Put You On this past week, and yeah, I just don't want the background of the apartment of my room to be out in the open. Sacred places.
Facts, dogs.
So, if you see a little bit of my left side, go in and out. Don't pay attention to that part.
It's about the content creator.
Right here.
Right here. This is the money maker. Right here.
Right. Focus.
Exactly. Oh, see, don't be moving.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
What's going on with you? How was your week?
My week is good. Just recovering from, my trip to the Lou. That's how they call it, the Lou.
I guess.
St. Louis.
I don't know.
The Lou. But yeah, you know.
Me in St. Louis when the gun play rains all day. Sorry, I was a big Nelly fan.
We all were. We all were.
Nah,
back
like I was like rocking vocal, bandana like the bandana underneath my eye sometimes.
The jerseys, the jerseys, the backwards jersey. Yeah. It was official back then. I never had apple bottom jeans though. I had some apple bottom jeans anyway. My week was cool. Like I said, just getting back to the swing of things after going to St. Louis for Rumble. Yeah. What about you?
How was the experience?
We had a good time.
We speaking French now?
I already told you. Me and Day went to we took a nice road trip to St. Louis, and it was. I kept saying this. I felt like it was so surreal just to see like other states. I'm always so fascinated by stuff like that, just because I'm from New York and it's such it's a city, right? But you being from Jersey, you already know what it is. It's just like it's city vibes and building, fast paced. So just to see like open roads and farm life and just at one point we stopped in Indiana and I was like, and it was like late and I was like, oh well, you gotta hurry up. I don't feel comfortable at a gas station.
Is it sundown time? Like
this ain't the type of skin color that needs to be here. So, it was an experience, but it was cool. In St. Louis, I guess that because they say it's such one of the dangerous cities in America, but I guess since that's the metropolitan area where all the stadiums and
Right.
arena whatever is at. It was like I said, a metropolitan area, so it was cool. So had a good time.
Yeah, we'll talk about the events later.
What about
For
you?
me,
How
my
was your
week is
week?
pretty good. I've been, settling in to the new apartment, adjusting to new times, and waking up, super earlier. And I didn't hit the gym yet. I'm gonna start hitting the gym probably this week. I'm waiting for my
Okay.
cousin to send me my workouts.
Hmm.
Cause my complex does have its gym now, so I don't have to drive nowhere to go
Good
to
for
the
you.
gym. I could just walk downstairs, and work
That's
out.
what's
So I'm
up.
back on that. But yeah, just it's weird because now I have to wake up like 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:45 in the morning. So me, I'm a night owl, so I'm usually don't go to bed. It's like 1, 2 o'clock. Now like I'm falling asleep at like 11:30, and it's just like, what the fuck is happening? Who am
Oh, I
I?
know.
Who is this
No, I
person?
know. I know. The days of
So
trying to stay up is rough these days. Being older, we can't stay up like we used to.
right, right. So I'm like, all right, so I have to adjust to this whole situation now. And
Yeah.
but I love the apartment. It's dope. I liked it better than the house that I was in. We all getting sleep.
Hey,
We're
hey,
all
that's what's
comfortable.
up. Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad. And you figure
Yeah.
out the
Good
next
week.
step. So
Oh,
good.
also happy birthday to my son. My
Happy
birthday. My
birthday to
son's
your
birthday was
son.
on Saturday. He turned
Which
8.
son?
My oldest.
Oh, Yoda's. Shout,
Yeah, my
shout out to
oldest.
him.
He turned 8. Yeah. So and the crazy thing is now he just starts to ripple. Actually, my mom started to ripple like a couple of weeks ago. Her birthday was 2 weeks ago from January 24th. And
Mm-hmm.
for my mom, every 2 weeks is a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom is January 24th. My son is February 5th. My daughter is February 18th. My birthday is March 3rd. And now the baby that's going to be born is going to be 2 weeks after my birthday.
Oh, so you really don't have the only month that you really can like take a chill would be April, but then it's back to because then May it's like Mother's Day, and
Right, Mother's
then
Day, anniversary, your
June.
birthday,
Right,
like,
uh,
and then it goes into my wife's birthday in August.
oh,
And it's September.
you were so when you said my birthday, the day that you decided to make things official on my day, but it's fine. It's fine.
I
It's
mean, I wanted
cool.
to share it with you,
Why would you share my day? You guys could have chose the first. You could have chose June
Nah, but that's
30th.
the
You
only day
picked.
we could have. Because honestly, if we could have did it, we would have did it on the 4th, but we couldn't do it on the 4th, so we just But yeah, so there's that, and then my wife's birthday's in August. September's a break. October is my dad's birthday, my sister-in-law's birthday, and my youngest son's birthday. So it's just like
It never stops. Well,
it never stops.
hey, at the end of the day, right? That's a blessing, though, that you're surrounded by so much love and celebrate life. So even though it's
Yeah,
a lot
definitely.
financially, um, it's a blessing. So
I feel
that's
like I'm
what's
gonna
up.
rob this bank.
Don't say that. Don't say that live and whatever, because then
I say it
essentially,
live. It's
nope.
a joke.
Don't say. Is it a joke? Because I'm an
Yeah,
accomplice.
it is
I
a
don't
joke.
need to. I don't. Nope. Nope. I don't. I don't need all that.
What bank you used to work
Um,
at again? It's like nah.
and that's the end of our show. Nah, but um, yeah. So I guess we can jump right into it.
Let's jump. You want to start hot fire? That's the conversation of the week.
Yeah, I guess I can. I'll tie into Royal Rumble and everything like that. But you asked me how is it and everything going to the show. This wasn't the
First of
best
all,
Royal
before we start, I
Rumble.
was right. Okay, go ahead.
You were right. I'm glad we didn't bet because you were right. But
On
I
both
was
of them. That's the
also,
crazy thing. I texted you during the show for the men's. I was like, yeah, he's winning.
and also Blue Blue text me after Sasha got eliminated. I'm sorry.
Right.
I can only like he really texted me on some like someone we done lost the you knock on with a
Right.
lost a family member or something. Like it was like detrimental. It was
It
like
was.
no, it was
I was
though.
deflated. I was deflated on the couch. I was sitting there like,
We
The moment she came out number one, I was like, this is not good.
Yeah. I mean, we both were, right? Um, or whatever. Like, just in regards to, obviously, we're both Sasha fans, so we were just kind of like, what the fuck, right?
Right,
And yeah, listen, we'll get into that, but essentially, it wasn't a good Royal Rumble. It wasn't a good Royal Rumble, and it's not even so much because of the winners, but the predictability. Two, we weren't surprised on the men's one, and then when you had it, the women's one again was dope, but the surprise entrances were literally under a minute. Shout out to Phil. Phil
right,
gave me, like, when we were, I was tweeting or responded to his something he said. He mentioned that all the surprise women entrances were under a minute. So it's just that's how it came off in the stadium. Like, everything seemed so rushed. Like, no one had time to
right,
really captivate the crowd and do spots. Like, yeah, it was here and there, but it wasn't anything like that. I can look back from years from now and be like, yo, I remember in this women's main event. I mean, Royal Rumble, Nikki Bella did this or Melina did this. Like, yeah, Melina and Sasha was a cool standoff, and then Cameron returning and the whole Funk the Dackle kind of thing, but it didn't really go anywhere. So it's just like,
right.
and normally with Royal Rumble, that's the whole spectacle of Royal Rumbles. Like, you just don't know who's gonna show up and who's gonna be the one to make their name for themselves. And no one made a name for themselves in either Royal Rumble, men or
Yeah,
women.
definitely.
So it was just like,
Yeah,
it it I don't understand WWE's motives these days. They don't. It's like you don't even care to make it a spectacle.
right.
So
Uh,
that was my thing in regards to that.
well, for me, it felt like, if you're speaking on the women in general, like you said, everything happened to me. I don't know. Did you know that Phil was there? Did you get a chance to meet Phil while you was out there?
No, I didn't get the chance to see Phil. Like, shout out to my friends. Like, Kevin was there, and then Danielle. Shout out to her, because she kind of hooked it up, helped us out with our seats. So that was that made the experience even better. I really didn't see much,
Right.
and or whatever. We was just trying to. We saw a couple of people, let's just say,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
didn't get to run into Phil
Um,
or anybody.
but
I know
like in terms
Janelle
of
said
like,
she was going. We
yeah,
didn't. I
Janelle
didn't see
Snow
her.
is there.
Yeah.
Shout out, real quick. Shout out to the Jabba Tears. They just did their 200th episode this past week.
Shout
So
out to
shout out
them.
to them over there, Mr. Black, Sir Wilkins, Janelle from HR. We gonna get them their titles very soon.
Yes.
So we gonna link up with them. But with the women's Royal Rumble, it was just more so like you said, it was rush. It was no real pace to it. The moments that happened with Sasha in the beginning were cool, but it was just like, why she in her ring by herself for so long? And I guess they were saying that it was to protect her, that she wasn't fully healed, but they needed that name in the Royal Rumble, so they let her do some things and then got her out of there. I don't know how true that is. That's what
I don't
the word
believe
is going on.
I don't believe that, because
Um,
I know we're gonna have our Sasha moment where we act and rant, but I don't believe that in
right,
particular, because if someone's not ready to go, someone's not ready to go. Bailey isn't
right,
ready to go. Oscar wasn't ready to go. They're not there, right? If Sasha wasn't ready to go, why was she able to do a split and all these different things, like, or
right.
Meteora off the side of the ring? Like, people keep making excuses, and when it comes to Sasha, why she wasn't in there longer, why she's not the one
We'll
to
get to it.
be the
We'll get to it.
Royal Rumble winner. But you gotta stop making if she's not ready to go, then you're not ready to go. Well, go ahead. Go
Right.
ahead. That's fine. Go ahead.
But but no, like you said, like the women pacing was just off. There was no real surprises outside of like Alicia Fox, in my opinion. When I seen Alicia Fox, I popped because I said,
Yeah.
where has she
Yeah.
been? Like, what I'm saying? I missed her. Like, and to see her get in there
Tatted.
was cool.
Was
Right.
good.
Like, it was cool to
Tatted.
see her.
Healthy.
Right, it's cool to see her in the ring. But other than that, nothing from the Women's Royal Rumble really stood out to me. Like, you just had all these missing spots and you had to get people to come back. And like you said, nobody spent more than a minute in the ring, which is why a lot of them turned them down the opportunity to come back because they felt like, all right, why am I coming back if I'm not going to win the thing? You know what I'm saying? And then two is like,
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Not to cut you off, but not. I don't think necessarily the mindset. The mindset is, I don't think any surprise entrance is going to win the Royal Rumble, right? Because if you're not
Right.
part of, if you're already not part of the company, I don't think anyone like I don't. I'm pretty sure Mickey James didn't expect. Oh, I'm about to main event Royal
Right.
Rumble. So I don't necessarily think that's the mindset. But my thing is, go ahead, continue.
No, no, I was saying like the people that turned down the opportunity to come back was probably thinking like, why am I coming back if I'm not even, it doesn't make sense for me to win or whatever the case may be. And then two is like, if you have all these open spots, why didn't you tap into NXT 2.0? You have women there as well. And for the men's and the women's, we didn't see nobody from NXT 2.0, so it made you question what is happening with that part. But yeah, like the women's one had no flow to it. The moment you heard Ronda's music, you already knew what it was. like,
Oh man, when I sat there, I sat there. As soon as that music hit, I was just like head in hands. Like I was just like,
right,
oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
I was
Again,
like,
she steals another
oh
Royal
my
Rumble moment from
god.
somebody. and
Oh
then
my
and then to
god. That was
and then
legit the
to
reaction.
and then to have her and Charlotte the final two was just annoying to me. It like couldn't tease Bianca a little bit more. Like you had to put Charlotte in the final two.
Well,
Like it
listen,
had to be Charlotte.
shout out to Brian H. Waters. He had me on his Break It Down episode this past week, and we had a great conversation specifically on the Women's Royal Rumble. And he mentioned that he wanted Bianca, or that was his pick to win. I didn't see Bianca going back to back. Would have been cool to
Right.
see, but I didn't see her going back to back. It just it just doesn't make sense for her to go back to back, in my opinion. So when you made that point in regards to like, maybe she could have went the distance a little bit longer. She did. She lasted pretty long.
Yeah.
But
But I can't remember who the
going to
final
your
four
point,
were.
it was her. No, that wasn't her. It was Ronda, Charlotte, Shayna, if I'm not mistaken, and someone else. But anyway, but yeah, with
See, that's my
Charlotte,
point. Like you could at least
it's like
tease it
with
even if he's gonna do it.
listen, with Charlotte, it's just like, yo, enough is enough. And I guess we'll talk about it a little more in depth in regards to SmackDown. But it's like enough is enough, man.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
with this company, it's the same thing. It's this why she first of all, she didn't need to be in that.
Nope.
She didn't need to be in it, and she damn sure didn't need to go the distance. It does not make sense anymore. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's like it doesn't add anything to her character or the prestige. It does not.
Right.
For that matter, you could have had Bliss in there. That if you were lacking women, you have her in these promos on Raw, these segments. So she's clearly capable of being in the ring. So she could have easily been that entrance that Charlotte was. There was no
Yep.
reason why Charlotte was there dominating yet again. This shit is
It, it,
annoying.
it is, and like to speak on the Royal Rumble altogether, I went back to watch the beginning, the first match because I didn't get a chance to. That was a great start, but in my opinion, from that great start, it just went downhill from there. None of the matches
Yeah.
really captured me. Like not even Becky and Doudrop, like that didn't really capture me much. You
Oh,
know what I
that
mean?
wasn't a
Like
good match. Maybe I missed Bobby and Brock because I went to go to use the restroom and get refreshments and whatnot.
right.
But you
Even that
know,
match was like it was cool, but it's not what we was looking for. It was cool. It had its quick moments, but the moment that Roman came in and gave him the team to win, it was just like, what are we doing here? Like, wow, all these stories like crossfire. Like, so we're not on separate brands no more. Like, what's happening here? And again, I don't think it made Bobby look the greatest. In my opinion, it wasn't the match that we wanted. It was a couple of spots. And then, like, I don't know how long you went to go to the bathroom, but I think the match lasted altogether about like, I want to say like 10 minutes, 12 minutes. And you know how those matches are. Suplex, dodge the spear,
yeah,
go
no.
back in the ring.
By the time I came back, it was essentially Roman out there attacking. So that's kind of what I came and saw. Eventually saw. So listen, like I said, this wasn't a memorable Royal Rumble. Not I think to wrap a bow on it, it wasn't a memorable Royal Rumble. And going to the in regards to the men's, there was literally no surprise entrance except Bad Bunny always gonna get a reaction from the
Right.
crowd. He was dope, but it's
Shane came out of nowhere.
just to
That
apparently
was
be
kind of
fired in the same week. Like it's just
right.
I don't know what's going on with WWE, and it sucks because we have this conversation all the time in the sense like, yo, we grew up watching this. This is some of our big fondest memories is because of WWE, right? You and I have this podcast because of our love for wrestling. I've met so many people because of WWE and whatever, but it's just I always say this. I can't see. I don't know how much longer WWE is going to be something in the future, right? I get they're always going to make their money. I just don't think. I think wrestling in general will somewhat be obsolete, in my opinion.
Right. I've
I don't
been having
know.
that conversation a lot too.
I don't know. I just
And
I think it'll be something as a hobby. You see, like indies and stuff like that. But after a while, especially if you're talking about WWE potentially selling to this person or that person, I really
yeah.
don't see it being a thing that what it is now. I really don't, especially with this trend.
Another thing with the men's Royal Rumble is that as it went on, you clearly it was flat as well. You didn't believe any of those people was going to win that came in
Nope.
at all because they have no
It's too
momentum going
predictable.
into this.
Yep.
And the moment that Brock lost, everybody knew that Brock was gonna win it. They just waiting to see what number Brock was coming in at, and this man came in at number 30, so you definitely know he was gonna win it. The situation with Kofi was kind of messed up. I feel like they could have fixed that a little bit more. But they let him out high and dry. And the moment that happened, it threw off the rest of the Royal Rumble off. You could tell like it was just like, all right, what do we do now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just and then Shane eliminating Kevin Owens, and then having what's this guy's name? Madcap eliminating AJ Styles, and it's just like, why are we doing these eliminations like this? Like you're devaluing these people that had at least you could be like, all right, maybe he'll have a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, maybe they'll pull the trigger on this person, and they get eliminated by nobody. It's like Shane McMahon and freaking Madcap. They're not winning this. like what are we doing
Yeah,
here?
and it goes back to again, yeah, they're not winning this, but this is the conversation or the complaints that we've constantly had for the past few years. It's just you focus literally. I think I read not the other day, Sean Ross Sapp mentioned that the morale again in WWE is extremely low because the focus is on what about four people, and then everyone else is just like there's no direction for anyone else, and it's the truth. Even if that story isn't true or not, you can there's no direction for anybody. Like you said, it did not no it wasn't believable that anybody, men and women's Royal Rumble, that these people were going to win until Ronda and Brock came
And
out in
Brock,
their respective rumbles, right? There's no like in regards to now the WrestleMania picture is set up. It's the same main event that we've seen thousands
over and
of
over.
times. And it's not even a situation where you remember how like when The Rock and Austin faced each other three times, there was a story to be told, right?
Right.
In the sense of
One best than the other.
yeah, right. Rock, Stone Cold was at the height of his career, and The Rock was just getting there, right? So he lost that one. Then the next one, The Rock is now basically neck and neck with Stone Cold, and he needed Vince McMahon's help because he was losing that control. So now
Right.
is 2-0. The Rock got to get his
Yep.
his, and eventually
Right.
he did. You know what I mean? So there's a story to be told in that sense. But with Roman and Brock, there's no story to be told.
Has Roman beat Brock? I believe so, right? He beat him Brock
Yeah,
before.
he didn't beat him at Mania in New Orleans,
He
and
beat him at
Seth
SummerSlam or
Rollins,
something like that.
something like that. Seth Rollins won at the Mania in San Francisco, and but Roman has beat him in other times, and Brock has beaten him like this match is not new to anything, right? It's not something that we can sink our teeth into. Granted, I love Roman's character. I think his character and his growth is amazing. I'm not knocking his reign or what he's doing as a character, but you're not giving us anything that where someone is gonna eventually come and be believable enough to knock him off the pedestal. And that's the
Right.
issue. I get, yes,
Right.
that's the whole point of being dominant, but someone has to be in being built up somewhere, and there's no sign of anyone being built up. Not even if with like going to the mid card title, right back. Always say this, back in the day, you had the mid card title for up and coming superstars that you would groom to eventually make it to the main event picture. There's not even that.
Right.
Shinsuke is not a someone that's going to eventually make it to the main event. Damian Priest, okay, but there's no element to Damian Priest's character, and he's not constantly defending this title. So
Yo,
so
speaking
when
of,
did
real
he?
quick, I'm sorry. Nakamura has defended his title since I believe September or October of last year, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's like, what are we doing? And then with Bobby Lashley, it seems like he may be a transitional champion again.
I can say this now. I know we've talked about this off air, and I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to upset nobody. The WWE title has become the mid card title. That became the workhorse title. That became the IC title, and then the IC title and the US title has became obsolete. Think about it. Like, the people they gave it to were the people that was really putting on matches, holding it down, but never was the top guy. Whether it was Big E, was it Bobby Lashley, and even as for a stint, Drew McIntyre. To be honest, because as long as Roman had his title, that's all they cared about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
after a while, the WWE Championship became just a workhorse title and wasn't considered a top title. Now that they're trying to merge the two titles, they're bringing it in the realm of who? Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
So you think that's
You know
what
what I'm
they're gonna
saying?
do? You think they're gonna try to
I
merge
feel
the
like
title?
they're gonna try to do title versus title and either make the person be the undisputed champion or have them hold both titles, or maybe do a swerve versus disqualification and nobody switch titles. But they're making it now. It's important when it's in Roman Reigns' sight or Brock Lesnar's sight. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no importance to this title until those two got involved. When you really look at it, and the way they just
Yeah,
diminished, and the way they just diminished Big E and sent him back to SmackDown to go back to be part of New Day after he got pinned and then disappeared. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I was never that excited with the WWE Championship after I seen what they was doing with it.
yeah, I know we've had these conversations off air, but at the end of the day, I feel like, and I'm not saying you're wrong in how you feel in regards to that, because there's a lot of truth in that. But I think at the end of the day, when you look at the lineage and years from now, and they talk about the WWE Championship, that's still in the history books that Big E won, Kofi won, Bobby Lashley won. Like it's at the end of the day, I don't think you can diminish that. In my opinion,
I
I hear
get
what you're
that,
saying. I hear what you're
but they
saying in
they don't
regards
care
to the
about
Universal
lineage.
title.
They
Well,
don't
I
care about
mean,
lineage.
well,
Think about
they
what they did with the
do
big
when
gold belt.
well, sure, they do when it benefits them, sure. But when
Right,
it does benefit, so if it does benefit them, that's when it'll be discussed, and you have to mention these people's names, and that's what I'm
right.
saying. So I hear what you're saying, though. The Universal title, not only because Roman's carrying it, but also because it's on SmackDown. That's quote unquote the flagship show now. That's the focus. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. But yeah, man, I don't really know the direction at this point with WWE. I it's
It's
not
weird.
it's there's nothing exciting. There's nothing exciting in regards to who can be potentially the next big thing, the next guy.
And the
You
crazy thing
know?
is that, and I said this to my wife on the couch, is when we was watching Royal Rumble, was like, I haven't watched wrestling, well, WWE weekly since like September. You know this. I've said this publicly. Like, I haven't watched weekly since September. And for me to still call out winners at pay-per-views is ridiculous. Like, it should not be this predictable. Like, when Ronda came out, my wife is like, wait, she came back? I'm like, she just came back tonight. It's like, so why is she here? Like, wait, and she's winning this? Like, what is happening? Like,
You know,
somebody that doesn't watch wrestling consistently knows
I can
that this
see
doesn't
that.
make sense.
And the
Right.
thing is, I was thinking about this, like, so I was saying this to myself. You remember there was a time where we used to watch WWE Weekly, and then there was such an excitement, like, all right, we're going to a pay-per-view is about to happen at the end of the month. Like it seems like a big time feel, just and you remember where I didn't have pay-per-view, so I know I used to get pissed off that I couldn't tune in
Right.
on pay-per-view. I don't even think they're
Right.
called pay-per-view anymore. I forget what they're called now. It's just it doesn't make sense to even have these events, really, because it
Yeah.
just seems like we're watching weekly shows. And then
Right.
crazy thing, Drew McIntyre came back, right, from his injury at Elimination Chamber. He's gonna face Madcap Moss, and it's like, why?
Is
Why isn't
he?
he not facing? Yeah, why is he not facing Corbin when Corbin's the one that took him out? What is going on? Where is the continuation in any of this?
Wait, on top of that, why he's not in the Elimination Chamber match when he was one of
I
the
don't
final two of the
know.
Royal Rumble? Like,
I
he was
don't
fighting one of the
know.
final twos.
I
But I'm
don't
hearing
know.
Brock is in there, and he already chose his champion, so now Brock is going to go for a WWE Championship and still go after the Universal title. This
How
is why
does
I
that
said he
make?
looks
How is that
emergent.
right? Yeah, like how is that even right? That's why I said Bobby's about to be a transitional champion. Champion if Brock is in it, Brock ain't losing.
Right.
Brock isn't losing, so that means it's gonna be title versus title, especially since Brock put it out there.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That's
He-
what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make
And
it
then
make sense, please.
and
At
then
least
after
try
that, right?
to.
Then after that, it's like, all right, we get to Mania, Brock versus Roman for the titles, whichever one wins. Who's next up? It's like WWE books,
Call Seth back.
and that's fine. That's great because Seth has been killing it, especially like you said for the beginning of Rumble, him trolling Roman with the Shield entrance, the battle
Chef
gear.
kiss.
Awesome, 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 awesome,
And
awesome.
shout out to
Like,
Roman for playing to it too. Roman's like, this motherfucker. And
and
he's
that's what I
standing there
said.
looking at him in the
Roman,
ring like, I know you ain't wearing this in the ring.
right? So, and this is why I said you got to give Roman a lot of credit in this reign that he's had. No pun intended, but this reign that he's had because he's been phenomenal, and then the whole storytelling in regards to the Shield hitting him in the back
Yeah.
like Seth did, perfect, beautiful storytelling. But again, after it's all said and done with Mania, who's up next? Is it going to be Seth again? And cool, because
And
Seth
that's
deserves a title reign, but at the same, then it's Seth. Who's up next? My point
right.
after Seth, Roman, Brock, maybe Drew, and Bobby. Outside of that, who else can I see in the near future that can challenge these guys? No one.
Goldberg.
Goldberg and freaking Roman Reigns at Elimination. Does Goldberg
You
live in
can't make
Saudi? Does he live in
yo,
Saudi? Because like
yo, you can't make this up.
Goldberg, like I'm watching SmackDown. I'm like, I'm gonna believe. How old is Goldberg? In his 50s? He looks great,
Yeah.
phenomenal. I'm gonna believe this man that comes back every few months is about to beat Roman Reigns, who's in his prime, killing it.
I mean, he beat Bobby. He 55.
Yeah, but Roman Reigns is God mode, right? That's how they
Right.
call him right now. So Roman is about to lose to Goldberg. Come on, man. It's just like I'm
You
tired.
can't make
I'm
this up.
I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. And I really listen, I was excited to go to Rumble because listen, I just felt in my heart Sasha was gonna win. My boyfriend was
Can we
his
talk about
first
that now?
time. Yeah, we can. That was his first time. It was something we can do together. I genuinely felt that this was gonna be the moment. And it's like I
Nah.
can't keep chasing accolades. I can't keep chasing accolades. But yeah, we can talk about it.
The situation that's with Sasha that made me mad. And again, her coming in at number one, again, I was just like, she's not about to do the same thing she did last time. They're not letting her go that distance, and I knew that Ronda was going to be there. So I'm like, this is not it. Like, that's why I was not excited. I was excited to see her, dope cosplay, dope moments with the legends, but it was just like, she deserves so much more. Like, if you're not gonna make, if anything, you could have made the story between her and Charlotte go to the next level during that Rumble match where they eliminated each other or something, and just fought to the back and carried it on to WrestleMania. And boom, let Ronda pick Becky because that would make more sense since Becky's the one that pinned her.
Exactly.
But you know, it's WWE, so common sense is not so common. So now we sit here and watch Sasha doing what she does and then getting eliminated the way she did. It was just deflating. Like, it was like, so what are we doing with the women? Like, she's over outside of the ring. She's over in the ring. You see how the crowd turns on the rest of the Rumble the moment she got eliminated. Like, how much more? It's the same thing since she's been on the main roster. Every time remember the times when the crowd was chanting, "We want Sasha," and it would turn down the mics so that it wouldn't come off on TV no more, and you can still hear it. Like, why do you continue to try to diminish this woman's star power, even when she gets it without you? Because you sure wasn't freaking promoting her appearances that y'all didn't help her get because it didn't benefit you. Like, to me, I feel like Sasha started going to this realm where she's gonna start seeing that she doesn't need wrestling, and that scares the WWE. And that's why they just like, all right, well, she's not going to be here for the long term. Just like The Rock left us, even though we got Rock to her point, she's getting to that point without us. So, fuck it. That's how I feel. Because
but you know what? I don't agree with that because, and I hate to bring race into it, because just last year, whether it was true or not, Charlotte wasn't happy with WWE. And then with Ric Flair getting fired or letting him go or whatever the case might be, they did everything in their power to make Charlotte happy. How do you make Charlotte happy? All right, so she's not in meaningless feuds or whatever. We're gonna give her the title. She still hasn't. Hold on. She still hasn't dropped that said title. So if you're saying WWE sees that Sasha doesn't need them, and you don't want her if apparently it's true what they said that her contract ends next year, wouldn't you want to do everything in your power to keep one of your biggest stars? And like I said this on Brian H. Water Show, not only biggest star in the company but outside, like just mainstream, wouldn't you do everything in your power to make that person happy? So when it was a threat it was a threat back in 2019 when she wanted to quit, you wasn't going to let her go. And then when she came back, then you gave her, quote unquote, everything she, quote unquote, wanted. And that wasn't saying much because she was still losing, you know, and playing second fiddle. But it's like, it can't be a situation time and time again where you take someone for granted.
Yeah.
This is the same girl, like you just said, since being on the main roster and even taking it to NXT, that has generated a reaction.
Yeah.
Positive reactions time in and time out. You can't keep doing this. The story was right there, like you said. You said it perfectly. You used her. Then on this past Friday, when Ronda came out, right before Ronda came out, Charlotte name dropped Sasha, and the crowd reacted. You can't keep doing this. For what? For what? And then again, I'm tired of people. Oh well, you know, be patient, or it'll happen here.
Let it play out.
No.
Let it play out.
No. It's 2022. We're having this conversation.
Yeah.
The insanity that it is 2022. That we're still having this conversation.
Since like the time they jobbed her out to Charlotte.
Yo, and this is perfect. This is serendipity in the sense of like it comes full circle. Why wouldn't you do that? Like it does not make any sense. What you said would have been perfect. Let them fight, like thug it out.
Eliminate each other. Yep.
And if you really wanted Ronda to win, right? Because if Ronda won, let Ronda face Becky, because like you said, that was the person that pinned her. That was the person that's been getting at her on social media and making her look stupid for the longest. Why is Charlotte the one that you want to face? It doesn't make sense.
That's your target. That's your target.
And then for Charlotte to post a couple of days ago, 6 years in the making. No, it's not 6 years in the making because it already been done. You
Right.
had the match at Survivor Series. Yeah, got disqualification, but then you had the brawl right before Mania, and then you had the Mania match. It's no 6 years in the making. It's done. It's done.
Like he was even in the decision. It was between Becky and Ronda. Like he was outside the ring somewhere. Like he was even in the
And then
picture.
she wasn't even in the picture. So like, why is this 6 years? No, we don't want it. It was 3 years ago. And then going to shout out to Brian when he said, I can see it's Ronda. And I'm like, no, I cannot see because it's Ronda. This is not the same Ronda Rousey that was revered years ago. This is not. And if you
It's
look at the
not.
I'm not into ratings like that, but shout out to, everybody that's in the crew that does focus on stuff like that. Ratings dropped in the last hour between Charlotte and Ronda.
Nobody cares.
So
Nobody
what do
want to
we
see that.
nobody want to see it. So what are we talking about?
So here's the thing, right?
What are we talking about?
This,
I'm sorry.
two things. So now, where does that leave Becky going into Mania? Because letting it play out with Bianca has gone and went. That little situation they did after the cameras went off, where they let Bianca pin Becky in 20 whatever seconds, I feel like that was a slap in the face. So what are we doing with Becky in that instance?
Listen, I mean, it seems like the obvious choice is Bianca, and listen, let's go because Bianca deserves her redemption, like for real. But I'm not positive about that. It'd be a situation,
Yeah.
and listen, I'd even be cool, no bullshit, if it was Becky, Bianca, Liv, because Liv is someone else who was killing it too. She had a
Yeah,
phenomenal
she
match
proved her
at day
worth.
one. She definitely proved her worth and that she's here to stay and should be in that title picture. So I can see that too. I'm not trying to take anything away from Bianca because I would love to see her have a Raw Women's Championship reign, but I could see Liv doing it too. So I can
Yeah.
see maybe that happening in a triple threat match, if not Bianca and Becky. But I wouldn't be surprised WWE says and bring someone else that was completely not on the radar and have her face Becky because that's WWE's MO.
What if they bring Becky into into the Charlotte and Ronda feud?
Oh God, imagine. Here's another thing that I don't know who was I talking to. Who was I talking to, you or was it Brian, or I can't remember. I can see Bailey. We haven't seen Bailey and Becky.
Yeah, I think you mentioned
I
that to me.
before that. Okay, I before that. If you talk because Bailey's supposed to come back very soon.
Yeah,
You can have her
she's ready.
separate from Sasha for a minute. I don't know. She's not ready because I know she just started doing something, but she's close to being ready. But Bailey and Becky has never been done before. Not even in NXT. Like maybe one-off like matches here and there, but an actual full-blown feud between those two hasn't been done. Because
That's
remember when
interesting.
she turned? You remember because when she turned back in 2019 when Sasha came back and Bailey was getting ready to tag team with Becky, and then Sasha came out, and then Bailey ultimately chose her friendship with Sasha and turned on Becky. It wasn't a one-off feud or anything like that. It was just Sasha and Bailey working as a unit. So that never really
Right.
cultivated in regards to
Interesting.
Becky and her. So I could see that. And listen, Bailey deserves. First of all, she has since her title reign, if I'm not mistaken, like after when she won the title from Charlotte back on that SmackDown, and then soon after, like the pandemic was the following year. That whole run wasn't in front of a audience.
Yeah.
And then remember when she came back, when we finally had live crowds, she was reduced to just being like the unofficial host of Mania, which she should have been the actual host instead of Hogan and Titus O'Neil, but that's neither here nor there. So
Ding dong.
at the end of the day, Bailey deserves that. So
Yeah.
I can see that if they don't go the Becky and Bianca route or Becky, Liv, that whole
or
whole thing.
Becky, Charlotte, Ronda.
Don't, because you were the one that put out Ronda coming out, and it happened. So I
Yo,
have to
because
blame you.
you gotta think the unsensible. You have to think of the unsensible when it comes to WWE booking, and that's the unsensible of it all. The part two of all of this is that I'm starting to see the coalition between Sasha Banks and Big E, because Big E is their biggest star outside of that ring when he was the champion, and they just ignored the fuck out of it, in my opinion. Bless you. See, I'm not lying. You sneeze right on cue. That's a Haitian thing. When you say something and it's true, somebody sneezes. Um,
Yeah.
like, and to me, again, it bothers me what they doing with Big E, because he showed his potential, and then now you got him back in the New Day. No offense to the New Day, but like, you basically just moved him over to SmackDown with no hoopla, no
Hoopla.
pomp and circumstance. It's just boom. Xavier's out. Boom. Big E, you have to go back over. That was it. That was it. And I said this because I don't watch this weekly, but watching Big E at the Rumble, he does not look like he's there. I don't know how it is weekly with you guys, but at the Rumble, I'm watching him like that, and I think I tweeted him like, "Yo, Big E doesn't look like him, like Big E." And I'm hearing this past Friday, he didn't do his intro with the New Day. So it's just like, what are we doing?
They just came out. Yeah, no, on SmackDown they just came out to their music. I don't know. It's really unfortunate, and I think we can wrap it up in regards to WWE and just how the direction they're going. It's really unfortunate at the end of the day that you take so many people, so many stars, so many people, blood, sweat, and tears for this company. You take them for granted. I understand it's a business, and certain things you have to do make sense for business. I get it. I'm not whatever. But when it comes to known stars, again, going back to Sasha Banks, Big E, it's not okay. It's not okay to use people and literally get people's attention and see that these people are literally generating views and interest, but you still go into the direction that you want to go to, and it's not working, right? In the sense of reaction. Yeah, you making your money. At the end of the day, WWE is going to make their money. No one's saying that they're going to struggle and go bankrupt in that sense. You're going to make your money. But at one point, when does it become that you listen to the fans? Again, I hate to bring it back to Sasha, but it's just like, yo, I can't imagine, and I always say this. Imagine you ran a company, and Biggie too. Let's him too. I have two stars. One was on Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Disney, that whole thing. Was on the red carpet for Spider-Man, the biggest Marvel movie, or one of the biggest movies this year.
Right.
Opened up for the college national football championship game.
Yep.
Right, and then it's like Big E,
boxing, MMA intros.
I see this, and I'm looking at the reaction. Look at how the way people reacted. Bleacher Report. They did 3. What was the biggest story from Royal Rumble? Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, if I'm not mistaken, and then Sasha Banks is split. A split. Why is that one of the biggest why is someone trending because of a split? Why are new fans or not new fans, but people like, oh, I don't watch wrestling, but anyone that cosplay Sailor Moon, I'm a fan of. Yep. If I'm running a company and I see that, I'm like, yo, I'm putting the jetpack on you. We going in this direction. Same thing like you said with Big E. College football game, national college football games, UFC.
Yep. Intro for boxing, all of them.
Intro for boxing, all these different things, and the reaction that he got.
Hitting the radio markets with the Breakfast Club and Hot 97, and you know what I'm saying, like, and being for culture.
Yes, if I see that, I'm not gonna run with that and see what we can do and make money with that. But you're gonna revisit a story that we that wound up fizzing out a few years ago. And I'm not knocking Ronda Rousey. This is not a shade to her or whatever, but this is it's a time warp. This is literally
I mean,
everything we
even
went
she
through
said,
back in 2018, 2019. This is literally
even she,
when I sat there and Rumble, sorry, when I sat there and Rumble, I was like, yo, this is 2018, 2019 all over again.
yeah, and even Ronda said that her dream match is against Sasha. She wants to do matches with Sasha because Sasha makes her look the best. Let's keep it 100. When she had that match with Sasha, I think it was on a Raw or pay per view in
At
January,
Rumble.
something like that.
Rumble. At
Yeah,
Rumble.
like that match was dope. Like that was Ronda's dopest match, and that was it. Like no paybacks, nothing like that. It was a one-off. Like, come on.
Listen, and then it's just like I don't know if the reports are true or not because again, I don't like to feed into dirt sheet, but for Charlotte to sit here and use in regards to saying, oh, she wanted to run her and Sasha back again because you got there at different points of the career and better and much better than what they were. To all of a sudden be politicking to face Ronda at for the main event because you still would have achieved main event status facing Sasha anyway. I mean, WWE legitimately ran with Sasha and Charlotte through live shows and the whole nine for the past month or two.
Right.
Just to throw her by the wayside, that's corny. And at this point, I don't know how it's looking for me like for Mania. I'll probably some way somehow end up there, but it's just like the excitement that you get. Like, it's officially Mania season. I personally don't care because none of these matches right now are grabbing my attention.
Fact, and it was the same thing with Rumble. Everybody was excited for Rumble because it's Rumble. That's one of the best pay per views. It's like, how do you drop the ball on a pay per view like this? And they showed you how. Everybody's like, yo, it's Rumble. They can't mess up Rumble, right? They messed up Rumble. Like, wrapped it up in a bow. We done. We good with that?
Yeah. Anything else in regards to AEW or?
Yeah, AEW. They got a few things going on. This past Friday for Rampage, we had a few dope matches. They had Jay Lethal versus Stark, and that was a dope match.
That was a good match. Yeah,
I love that one. I love the reversal. Ricky Starks went into his finisher, and also I like the Sammy versus Isaiah Cassidy because Isaiah Cassidy showed that he's in a tag team and he should have lost that match, but he showed you something like Private Party needs to be on the TV more often, not just following Hardy around and being his hype man. Like they could go in the ring and let them show that. I mean, if you think about the tag team division when they did the tournament, Private Party was one of the first ones. They upset the Young Bucks for a reason.
Yep. And like I keep saying, there's two teams with them and the Acclaim. I was going to say the Acclaim. The Acclaim. Two tag teams that there needs to be some type of focus with them. Like for real.
And Pride and Powerful. But I've seen they starting to break out Pride and Powerful. They're finally going to turn them against Jericho, I'm hoping. Please, please let them loose, please. But yeah, in terms of that, they're going to be, after Rampage went off the air, Tony said it's going to be a new signing this Wednesday. There's reports that, it might be Keith Lee. So people are hyped for that. But I say that there might be a little swerve. I'm not saying Keith Lee not going to sign this Wednesday, but I feel like this is a swerve because Isaiah Cassidy is supposed to face a mystery person who's going to sign with AEW for this ladder match, during the tournament for that ladder match. And I feel like it's going to be Cody Rhodes because Cody has not signed a contract with AEW yet. And he mentioned it last time in his promo.
That's actually, that would be very good. And that would be a very good heel move because of respecting someone else. And then it's Cody again.
Right. Yeah. Did you get a chance to see Rampage? Because I also like the fact that Adam Cole, people was getting upset about Adam Cole losing to Orange Cassidy in this whole non-sanction match because it doesn't go against his record. And I was like, that's the best time to lose is when it doesn't go against your record. That was perfect for Adam Cole, and it kind of brought him to a refocus because now he has his eyes on the AEW title. So we might get Adam Cole versus Hangman Page pretty soon, and I think that's a pretty good matchup.
I think so too.
And the women are doing pretty well. Like Lacey Hirsch, her heel turn when she smacked Statlander with that chair. I'm like, yo, this is dope for her. Like, I like this aggressiveness. Jade Cargill, shout out to her. She was on Grab City like last week, I believe, and she's been turning this whole people calling her green into money, literally. So it's a quick synopsis of AEW because honestly, yeah, they've been all right. They've been coasting. I mean, of course they need to do better, but I see small glimpses of improvement.
I mean, it's everything that we've been saying with AEW. I've
Right.
watched it here and there. Like I think it's there's weeks that I'm bored by AEW. Like, that's just me, and I don't think that at this point that much can change in regards to that. But I watch just because it's wrestling and it's something to discuss and compare and contrast. But I just feel like wrestling as a whole, it's going through the motions.
Yeah.
Kind of what we said earlier. I feel like at one point or the other, in a few years, I just feel like wrestling is going to be a thing where it's really, really, really low key, in my opinion.
Unless
I
something
could be
major
wrong.
happens or some big change happens.
Yeah, but
So
and
I
with
feel
that
like
said,
it goes through the motion.
yeah, it goes through the motion. So, they do they're doing what they're doing. Like, there's glimpse here and there that they're doing better in regards to diversity, but how again
Inclusion.
it's just inclusion. But it's just like, are you going to keep that up? Are you just doing it right now, and then once it dies down, go back to the
Same old,
old
same old.
formula? Same old, same old. So that's really where I'm at in regards to wrestling, and I just
Yeah. But I'm enjoying the storylines they're giving us right now, especially with Brian Danielson and Moxie potentially teaming up and creating their own stable. That was a dope promo from Brian Danielson this past week. Just to end off the whole AEW and just to close out this thing right here. I know you ran through AEW, but it's whatever.
yeah.
Just shout out to AEW on this part with the Who We Are album. It's not even a mixtape no more, or a playlist. It's an album where they have the Celebration of Excellence, which is about all the black wrestlers on AEW right now, where they're each going to be able to tell their stories are being told through music. I just want to shout out a couple of friends of the show. They're going to be also on the album for Who We Are from AEW. Not an album. Well, album, not a playlist, whatever, a mixtape that was originally reported. Shout out to Will Washington and Rochester Reg from Grapsity. Shout out Wrestling Flow, Josiah Williams. Also, Graham from Public Enemy Podcast and Montezzi from Swerve's show, and he has his own podcast as well. Just a couple people from the community that's going to be part of the album. Max Caster is going to be rapping his own situation. Sunny Kiss, like I said before, will be doing her own situation. It's just dope to see that they doing that, because I've seen a couple of times where people like, yo, why don't WWE or somebody do a mixtape or something for Black History Month, and they're actually doing something together. And I know they got some flack when they first got announced, like they're trying to pander, but word is they've been working on this for a few months. So shout out to them for that, and that's just a wrap up for AEW.
Yeah, no, I get. Listen, briefly, that's dope. At the same time, but again, it's kind of like, I don't want to be that person that's like diminishes the attempt. But I don't know if you saw, very briefly, I don't know if you saw, making like waves on Twitter, American Airlines, right? They put the whole African, like, I don't know, like, just basically, for Black History Month, right?
Right.
And it's just like, why are you doing that? How does that help us in regards to, whether it's giving us more jobs, or shit, give us a free flight? Why do companies feel that this is what's gonna be like, we're for you guys by doing something? Which is, again, this is great what they're doing. I'm not knocking anyone a part of it. I think that's phenomenal, especially like you can use your platform and be heard.
Right.
But does that translate to Sunny Kiss? Does she have a feud on Dynamite and Rampage, or a title opportunity? Does that translate to Max Caster and Anthony Bowen, you know, in the tag team championship picture? That's all I'm saying. I love that, you're helping us in regards to having our voices be heard, but does that translate into what we want in regards to in the ring? Because you can do all of this, but still not focus on the in when it comes to on the weekly shows, and that's a problem. And companies do
Yeah.
that time and time again. So that's my only thing. I think it's fantastic. I'm not one of those people that's going to knock everything that a company tries to do in regards to diversity and inclusion. But
What's the
also
long goal?
remember, what's the long term goal? And let's remember that we want to be heard in the ring as well, right? We
Right.
want our time too in the ring. So that's my only thing.
Yeah, I get that. And like this is why I said it's doing small. We'll have to see what happens after February. Because one of the things, like you say, is like February comes around is when these, but we can't also act like people don't be like, oh, it's February, what y'all gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like people are at that type, and this time they actually did something. The reason why I said they did small steps to improve is because, like I said, this past week, Ricky Starks and Jay Lethal main evented Rampage. And Rampage has been doing pretty well. They also had a few, like Acclaim been on there. Acclaim was actually on Dynamite more often than usual. But like you said, this needs to be long term. Like it has to go beyond this. For me, I just was supportive of the album because I know when the album was first announced, everybody was like, "Oh, y'all trust AEW with this, or this is just pandering." It was just a lot of negativity, and this is one of the reasons why I stay off Twitter now. Is because when there's something happens, it's a lot of negativity that's not needed. And then on the
For
flip
sure.
side, once they start seeing like certain people added to it, then I guess, and then like, yo, congratulations to such and such. But it's like, why couldn't you be that supportive when those first form of people were telling you that this is like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like that, and I just wanted to bring that up to like, yo, like,
No,
give us
I
some
get
props.
it.
Like, let's see what happens.
And that's why I said, and I think we ended off like this. I think that's fantastic. That's dope. But also, let's keep the eye on the prize and what we actually want. So, but
In
hey,
ring.
it's a step, right? And it's the step, but it's a step in the right direction. So, shout out to them for that, for sure, and everybody that
Wait, did we get?
participated
I'm
in it.
sorry, real quick. Did we get the Vince McMahon, Martin Luther King is my hero thing this
No,
year?
we
We
didn't. We
didn't.
didn't.
He did. It's not his hero
No,
this year. No.
we just got his hero this year. No, no.
Oh
No,
man.
I think basically what we have Bobby Lashley and Biggie and all these different people in the
He's like,
spotlight.
that's enough.
That's
He's like,
enough.
that's enough.
That's enough. I don't need to tell you this year that he's my hero. So yeah.
All right, that's the episode, guys. This upcoming week we do have Jenna will put you on. I believe she putting you guys on to Eric Williams. So make sure you tune in on our Twitch channel, twitch.com/The Mixed Tag Show. Make sure you subscribe. If you have Amazon, it's a free subscription to you and some coins in our pockets. Also follow us on YouTube and subscribe there as well. YouTube.com/The Mixed Tag Show. Follow Mixed Tag Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on our personal at Blue Magic Grind, spelled how it sound. And
At Miss Jenna Baby BAYBEE. Boom.
peace.
Tag show.